Hey, this is Eric's. First things first, thank you so much to all my friends and anyone who's watching this video or who has watched any of these videos for all the support throughout this grind. It's been a really long 3 months and a frustrating one at times, and I couldn't have done it without that support behind me. I'd like to thank Lazerblitz in particular, actually, for wishing me luck on one of his own levels. Like, that was just crazy.
Laser, can you wish me luck on Blade of Justice?
Good luck.
Yeah, 82 the other day.
Second, I want to give a shout out to Sanity, who's also going for Blade of Justice right now. Like, good luck, man. You've absolutely got this. Like, go check him out. Insane progress. Really, really great player. So, good luck with that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick little breakdown of the level. I'm going through each part individually just to kind of give you an idea of how I found my experience playing it, what's the level like, all that kind of thing. And so I suppose we're going to start with this first robot part. Now this part's really hard, like genuinely one of those sections that just gives everyone trouble no matter how good they are. Because it's just like insanely tight timings, very kind of rhythm based. It goes really nicely to the music, which is really handy. But that doesn't make it any easier. I suppose the one advantage is, you play it so much because it's right at the start. All your zero attempts will take up this part to some degree. It gets a lot easier as you go, like really way easier, like to the point where you're doing it like kind of just almost on command, even though it's one of the hardest parts in the level. Also, there's one specific click here that's really hard. That is this green orb here. Like you have to do it really late, and your alignment on this blue orb right here is really important. Where the later you hit that blue orb, if your alignment, it gives you way better alignment. Like if you look at the hitboxes, so if you have to try and hit this like as late as you can, really, it's like you're getting like a few frames there. Because what happens if you hit it early, you hit this really early, you've got loads of gap here, but like your alignment for this orb in particular is really bad. So you need to be kind of really, really conscious of that with that click there. That's probably the hardest click of this whole first section, like at least in my experience. And like it has to go quite late there, as you can see. The rest of these are kind of fine though. Then you've got this ship section, which is really difficult, but also not so bad. Like, it's just one that you get used to, and it just comes quite naturally. You can kind of go off that slope up the top there, and then, yeah, again, it's another section that kind of syncs really nicely with the music. Like, you can almost, like, time your specific clicks to the riff that's playing, which is really great. So this part's really fun. It's not insanely difficult. It gets really consistent. Like, it's one of those parts you'd be annoyed at if you died at. Like, there are some parts where, like, okay, that's fair enough. And that's one of the easier parts I found of the level. But now we're getting to what I struggled with the most, and that is this wave over here. Yeah, so I suppose the first thing to note about this part is that it's really tight. Like, it's really difficult to get used to. And I haven't played many wave carried levels. It's like, it's a real step up from what I've been doing before. It's a really difficult part, like, especially right at the start here. So I want to just highlight like two specific clicks here, really, or two parts of each clicks, right? So you got this double click right here, like this release and then double is really difficult. This click up here can sometimes be irritating because if you look at the hitboxes, they've got the portal down here. And the issue with that portal is that if you hit it too close to here, you die here, which is not great. That's the one like oversight there is in the level. And then this double click here as well, also very difficult. So those are the 12 and 14% double clicks. So those are probably the hardest parts of the wave. The rest of it kind of comes fairly naturally after that. I struggled a bit with this release here, and for some reason in particular. And then the rest of this is honestly kind of fine. Still difficult, but fine. And then we move into the ship. Now the ship is it's a fine part. Pretty simple straight fly. That's just a nice hold when you go for like this. And the ship didn't really cause me much trouble until the end actually, which is really odd. This part here, because of the gravity of the old upside down mini ship, can be just so frustrating. It can be so frustrating trying to get through and make it work. Like you really need to kind of pull it up very aggressively. And we get to the ball part. Now the ball part is fine for the most part. It can be slightly awkward, so if I'll turn on hitboxes for this, and I will turn off trail. Then these clicks here generally are fine. However, sometimes, like, especially this one here, I tend to time this one a little early. And then this one is very easy to hit late, as you can see, because it's very dependent on your previous alignment. And then you've got the UFO, which is easy. It is easy. If I turn off speed hack, you will see why. So it's just 2 clicks, 4 clicks. It's very simple. Nothing there should really trouble you that much. And then we get to the wave. Now, this was a part I struggled with an awful lot at the start, but by the end, it gets really consistent. It's like this little double here is kind of hard, but it's mainly fine. And I suppose the hardest part, at least for me, was this click right here. Like just going up here was really difficult because you've got to kind of align it off the ground, which is, you don't have a whole lot, you can't really see what's going on. Generally speaking, this part's fine. Then you have, after that, you've got this ship section, which is difficult. The issue with this ship section is that dual mini ship is not actually perfectly aligned. So if I turn on Hitbox Trail for when I die, you can see that I didn't die down here, but I did up here, and like by a bit as well. So what you get, especially with this part in particular, is that you can think you're fine on one side, right? And then you look up to the other side and you've got maybe different clearance. Like, it can be really frustrating because, you're following the ship on the bottom or on the top, whichever you prefer, and then like the other one dies. And that's just incredibly frustrating, and that can be really difficult to work with, but that's not the level's fault, that's Rob's poor physics. That straight fly is generally fine, and then you get to my least favorite part of the level, arguably. I think the deco here is just a bit off, but, the gameplay is fine. There are 2 clicks that are actually hard. Alright, so first it's this click here where you jump off. So you've got a purple orb in here, but the issue with that orb is that if you hit it, you end up going too low. I had the pause menu, right? You can see here. Basically what happens is you hit that too early and you go off early. And the thing is, you don't have a whole lot of space there. Like if I turn on hitboxes, right? And you've got a little bit of room after this is gone to actually, go and make your jump, which makes it a really difficult part. What's really hard is this here, this blue orb. It's a real late click. Like if I click from here, right? Click from here, you go way off, way off. So you gotta like really go quite late to make it. But once you've got it, it's like the rest of this section is so totally fine. And then you're into the jewel. Now I'm not going to spend much time on the jewel. There are some guides on how to do it, and I will link one of those. The jewel itself isn't that hard once you learn it, really. It's just very, it's difficult to get used to, but once you do have it, it flies. It flows perfectly fine, and there's no difficulties. I'm going to talk a little bit about this last bit here, because it's a bit annoying, and there's multiple ways to do it. So on 2.2 physics, there is a bug with these portals here, where if you take the intended route, whereby you click this green orb, and then release in time to get through these spikes down here, you die, basically. Like, you come out wrong. But you can avoid that by basically doing a small click just around here where the ball is meant to click, and then doing a second immediate click, which lifts the ship up and over here, just like in an arc that way, and into the same portal. Just like that, really. And then you're into this mini-wave. This mini-wave was really difficult for me, and I struggled with it an awful lot. Once again, until the end. I got really used to the wave parts by the end of this level, but the start, they absolutely killed me. And then you get to this break. It's a few hard timings, and then nothing else really happens. I find especially that blue orb can be really hard to time sometimes. You need to be properly late on the initial platform. Like, you've a lot more space than you think. Like, it's actually where this spike kind of bit ends, even though you might think it's over here. You've got way more space than you think you do, and that's just fantastic. Anyway, now we're on to the UFO. The UFO is tricky. The UFO is very much a timings-based part. I struggled with it a little bit at the start, but it gets very consistent. It gets fine. 63 to 100 is the kind of run you want to be doing every day if you're planning on beating this, like if you're deep enough into it. I struggled with the a few clicks in particular here, though. So if I was to point out one click that I found really hard in the UFO, it would be this green orb here. That's another thing about the UFO. Everything is like triggered to be black, which is pretty annoying because you can't really see it on the black background. But yeah, this green orb here is I found it really hard because most of these green orbs are late timings, but this one has to be like perfectly on, or else you fly up into this up here, which is no fun for anyone. And, if you hit it too early, obviously you go down here, so it's a really hard timing. Now we're into my favorite and least favorite part of the level, and that is the swing copter. The swing took me forever to learn, and it is completely up to the quick pattern. It's just one of those things you need to learn. There's no like special trick to it. Whatever way you end up doing it, and I struggled to get that down. Overall, this part is really good once you learn it, and a lot of people say it's really easy, but it depends how much experience you have with Syncopter. Okay, now we are into the wave sections at the end. This can be really stressful. I died here a good few times before I beat it. So these clicks here can be really difficult because they're going very quickly, and if you don't like fully remove your finger from, say, your sail, like I use, it can be really, really tough. Now, one thing that can go wrong is this here, this entry here. If we show hitboxes again, you can see I come up pretty high, and the reason for that is if you come down any lower than that, really, you just end up smashing straight into these. I think it's poor level design, to be honest, but it does encourage you to get really high up on that and get in through it. And then you're into maybe the most stressful part of the level, and that is this ship part. Because it goes dark. And then this ship part and this wave even are very, very stressful. And then you're into kind of your home stretch, which isn't too bad. Now you want to watch out for this big spike here. I died to it as my final death in the level, really. But then after that, you're kind of in the clear for the most part. Then you're into the ship section. It's fine, and you just hit the orb, flight control, a little bit of straight fly, and you're through to here, which is also a hold. Then you're into this final bit here. But this is maybe the most stressful final section of a level I can think of, because it is dark, it requires incredible precision, and it's very hard. If I was to pick a part of this level that's really the hardest part, I would pick the wave at 11%. I don't know if that would be many people's choice, but I just found it such a mentally difficult part for so long. And yeah, that's Blade of Justice by Manix and Lazerblitz. And seriously, try this level if you have it beaten any extremes at all. Like, it's so worth it. It is a really fantastic experience. 10 out of 10. Everything is held up about it. The decoration, the gameplay, the song is even good. Really, really incredible level. And thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video.
Yes! I did it! I did it! I beat it! Oh, yes! 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 Come on! Let's go! Oh my god, I did it! Yes! 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 Oh my god, yes!